What's up, world? Andrew Rothermel, above and below, health and fitness. Today I want to bring to you the benefits to exercise that don't include weight loss. All right, so I think, in my opinion, exercise has been mismarketed. It's been marketed as a way to improve your heart health. It's been marketed as a way to lose weight. And while it does do those two things, there are many other benefits to exercise. You don't need to wait to begin exercise until you need to improve your heart. You don't need to wait to exercise until you need to lose weight. Actually, exercise really isn't that good of a mode of weight loss, especially in the beginning. Exercise burns way less calories than most people imagine, and if you're beginning an exercise program, you're most likely not able to exercise as frequently or as intensely as you would need to burn the amount of calories from exercise to lose weight. So a lot of that would have to come through nutrition as well. However, there's still plenty of other benefits to exercise, and I want to bring some of those benefits to you today. And one of the ways I want to do that is through this book that I read called Spark. All right, so this book called Spark, it talks about, and I read this over the summer, it talks about a bunch of different ways that exercise benefits the human body that doesn't include weight loss. So in order to make it a little bit faster and more efficient for me to bring you that information, I'm going to do it a little bit differently today. So check this out. I'm going to bring you just a few slides from some information that I teach, and it takes up quite a bit of time. So I'm going to do it a little bit differently. I'm going to post those slides on here, and you can pause it and read the entire thing, and you can get a little bit better information than me just talking here. And you can get that information quicker. So check it out. These next couple of slides I think you'll find entertaining, and let me know what you think. All right, guys. What's up, guys? I just wanted to come back here one more time before the video is over and just emphasize a few of these points and give you just one last piece of information that wasn't in my earlier section or in the clips that you saw throughout the middle part of the video. So let's talk about a couple things here real quick, and I made just a couple notes. So some of these things are just so drastic that I want to make sure I point them out just one more time before the video is over. So the study on better sleep, exercising increasing better sleep, and it increased your sleep by 65% by meeting the exercise guidelines. So what are the exercise guidelines? I'm going to talk about that really quick before this video is over, and to let you know what the exercise guidelines are and just how many adults are meeting those exercise guidelines. And the answer might surprise you. So stay tuned for just a few minutes to the end of the video here. But 65% of participants who met the physical activity guidelines if you met the physical activity guidelines, you had a 65% better sleep quality, which is insane. That's awesome. So we know there's a lot of benefits to good sleep. So exercise can do that for you. One other thing here, improved cognition. Right, there's a slide on improved cognition. So again, that book was called Spark, and it opened the book up with this information, which really caught my attention from the start, about just the improved ability to learn based on exercise. Exercise primes the brain to learn. So they did the study with it was called 0 hour PE. So 0 hour meant that these kids came in before school started. So you have first period, second period, third period. This was 0 hour, 0 period. It was before school started, and they did actual exercise in PE. They actually went out and they did aerobic activity. They did running. And they saw that the kids who participated in that activity improved their reading and comprehension scores by 17%. 17% compared to the kids who did not participate in that 0 hour PE, only improved by 10%. So that's nearly double, right? 10% to 17%. That's nearly double the score just by doing physical activity in the morning, okay? And maybe it's not specifically in the morning. Maybe it's just in general. They're actually getting their physical activity in for the day. So we see, and I'm a teacher right now. I'm a high school health teacher, and I see the amount of testing that these kids do, and I know it's K to 12, right? Kids are testing all throughout their educational experience. And a lot of times in the political realm of the educational aspect, it's reduce the extracurriculars and incorporate more core classes to increase scores. But it might just be the opposite. Increase the physical activity and the other classes that foster creativity, and you might see increases in your core classes. So I just want to make sure I point that out. Another huge, kind of just something to point out, a huge bullet point for exercise and the benefits to exercise is its ability to reduce depression. So let me read this one. It's just real quick. It said in October, in case you missed it, October of 2000, researchers from Duke University made the New York Times with a study showing that exercise is better than Zoloft in treating depression. Okay, so exercise was better than medical intervention, Zoloft, for treating depression. Now that's not in every case, but in this sample study, it was, and that's huge. Okay, exercise has a great benefit for increasing mood, anxiety, and depression. All right, so that's it for some of the highlights. Now I want to just briefly give you a little bit more information on what are the exercise guidelines. Okay, so the exercise guidelines are set by the CDC, or at least they're one of the people who set exercise guidelines. So how much exercise should the average adult in the United States be getting? Well, the CDC, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, recommends that the average adult gets 150 minutes of aerobic activity per week, and that's moderate intensity activity, in addition to 2 muscle strengthening activities per week. And that's, I believe it's 2 sets of muscle building activities for each body section. So chest, back, legs, those types of things, which is not very much. So let me make sure I get these numbers right. Only 20%, okay, 20%, and you could, let me change that up here too. So if you didn't want to do 150 minutes of moderate, you could do 75 minutes of vigorous. Okay, think moderate jogging, think vigorous sprinting. Okay, so, or you could do a combination of the two. 150 minutes of moderate intensity, 75 minutes of vigorous or combination. Okay, and now only 20% of adults meet the aerobic and muscle strengthening guidelines in the United States, 20%. 50% meet the aerobic activity guidelines, and 30% of American adults meet the muscle strengthening activity guidelines. That's huge. Okay, that's huge. Actually, it's not huge. It's very small. So if exercise can do all these things, right? And I missed to point out the postpartum. I just actually skipped over it when I was going through these. But let me briefly talk about that, and I'll get back to that. So this postpartum depression study that they pointed out, there was 10 women who walked strollers. There was 2 groups. The experiment group had 10 women who walked strollers for 40 minutes. And this was, not a very, it was a brisk walk. Think a brisk walk for 40 minutes. And attended 1 social support meeting. And the control group had 10 women who just carried out the normal activities. So the experimental group walked for 40 minutes 3 times a week and went to 1 social support meeting. Before they did this experiment, So this is postpartum. So this is after the women have had children. Okay? So before they did the study, they did a measure of their depressed levels. How depressed are you? And they used a clinically based depression scale, the Edinburgh Postnatal Depression Scale, and it was 6 weeks and 12 weeks. Okay, so 12-week long study, 10 women, control group, no extra exercise, just normal everyday activities, and the experimental group, 10 women, 40 minutes activity, and 1 social support meeting. And by the end of the study, the experimental group started with a 17.4 score and a 12. A score of 12 is depressed. That began with a 17.4 and dropped to a 4.6. Right? Way below the clinical level for depression, way below. But the control group, the group that just carried out the normal everyday activities, went from 18.4, remember 12 is depressed, down to 14.8, which is still depressed. Okay, so exercise, 150 minutes of moderate activity per week. Okay, that's 2.5 hours, right? 2.5 hours of moderate intensity activity per week. That's not a whole lot to ask. And 2 muscle strengthening activities as well. If exercise can do all these things, this huge long list of benefits that I just listed, then why aren't we doing it? Right? It's so easy for people to do other things, take a pill, or go to the doctor and look for an excuse or something like that. It's so easy to pop a pill that takes 10 seconds. It's hard to do 2.5 hours of exercise. For a lot of people it's hard, but it shouldn't be. You know the benefits, okay? And all these benefits, you can take 1 pill for one thing, and that 1 pill gives you 30 seconds of side effects. And you see the commercials, it's every other commercial. But exercise can do all these things for you. All right? It's so much more than just a weight loss method. It's osteoporosis, it's anti-aging. All right, it's all the things that are listed. So I encourage you, get out there, get it going, get up, get moving, exercise, begin slow, build as you go. If you need help, let me know. I think that just rhymes. So we'll end on my rhyming skills. Andrew Rothermel, Above and Below, Health and Fitness. Peace out, world.